It's just been consistently war, terrorism, opium, Taliban. These have been the topics, American invasion, so on. But there is more. So my wife is an art therapist, and in simple words, she not only believes, and I think it's true, that I'm putting myself through art therapy. My name is Shaheer Zazai. I'm a multidisciplinary artist. I'm a painter, but I also produce digital work. I was born in Afghanistan, 85. We left Afghanistan in 92, and that was due to the civil war. So we moved to Pakistan and lived in Islamabad for 13 years. And then we moved to Canada, and I've been living in Canada for 17 years now. My dad applied to immigrate here, and that was to give us as the children a better opportunity in life. January 1st, 2013. My entire digital practice started from not feeling achieved enough, sitting on a couch too much in front of a laptop. So I punished myself to type 2013 dots and spaces because it was January 1st, 2013. So I started playing with numbers and colors and repetition and kept shifting the order of the colors and the numbers. I'm doing this meditative task. If you do a certain task on repeat for long enough, eventually your mind will start to calm down and flush out all your thoughts. I would say about 80% of the time I have no idea what it's going to be. And that structure is coming from growing up with a lot of change. In Pakistan, I think we lived in 6 different houses in the 13 years. You have to change and adapt and change and adapt. There's no room for error. For me, working in a Word document, playing with numbers and colors and things ending up looking like textiles. The language I'm using on a Word document is the language of textiles. Computer language comes from textiles. Textiles is actually the grandparent of computer language. I've always wanted to turn them into carpets. I became quite focused on the carpets being produced in Afghanistan by Afghan hands, and I wanted it to come out of that air, come with that dust embedded in it. The carpets did get produced, and they came to Canada, I think July of 2021. I just sent them a JPEG, and I said, these are the dimensions, these are the colors, if you could achieve it as accurately as possible. This was my favorite discovery. It's my favorite discovery because it doesn't exist in my work, and it doesn't exist anywhere else in the carpet. It's the only single red flower in this entire carpet, which throws the idea of symmetry out of the window. I learned at the time that carpet design is garden design. The garden has come to life through the hands of a weaver that's sitting somewhere in a dusty part of Afghanistan. It's definitely moving to see them in person for the first time. And in August of 2021, the political climate around Afghanistan completely shifted. Taliban were in power again. Hope goes away when something like that happens to a country. I was in between shock, and I'm not surprised. And at the same time, I was working on an exhibition that was about to talk about colorful things and positive things, and let's talk about culture. I was stuck. I considered canceling the exhibition. This process made me realize that I might be adding to the problem. Afghanistan just became voiceless. Afghanistan went into a dark state. And if I took the exhibition away from the equation as well, I'm also taking away the opportunity to be able to talk about Afghanistan. I accepted that, no, I have to do the exhibition, I will go ahead with it. And the Black and White series became a product of it. And this is when I also decided to address the garden element of my work. I decided to address a specific garden. And I started doing research around Bagh Babar, which is the garden of Babar, which is in Kabul. I refer to it as the Central Park of Afghanistan. In my research around Bagh Babar, I learned that the Aga Khan Trust for Culture was involved in the rehabilitation program that rebuilt the Bagh Babar. So when I came across the plans that were drafted by the Aga Khan Trust for Culture, I used it as the blueprint for me to build my digital garden on. Also, this is the first time I've used Arabic text in this case being the letter Z, being the first letter of the word Zameen, meaning land, and the first letter of the word Z in Pashto, meaning I. The more I looked into it, the garden started becoming a witness of history. And with each political shift, this garden has seen a change happen to it. The land itself is a witness of the history. And the question I'm posing is, what happens when you shift the focus? If you shift the focus to land, how does that reflect on you? And I feel like that question in itself paints a picture for me of what's happening in Afghanistan. It's an I versus land. The land is forgotten. The land keeps getting forgotten even in the media lens. I'm hoping to start a conversation within Afghan community and with the larger community on the topic of Afghanistan. The climate of what's happening in Afghanistan really makes one focus, at least it has made me focus, to really question where do we stand. Maybe that will be something that will make them walk away and think about themselves differently. It comes down to trying to understand who you are. My work has changed me.